I have bought 88,000 Bitcoin. I never sold one Satoshi.
Damn,
Nor would I sell
have
one.
not sold any yet either.
No, here's what I think. I think you sell the Bitcoin. How are you going to feel if you sell it at 27,000 and then you wake up one morning and it goes to 82,000?
Well,
and then it goes to 167,000 when it goes to $1 million. And when it goes to $1 million, are you going to be bragging that you bought it at 0.019 million and you sold it at 0.2022 million? Like, aren't you going to feel freaking stupid? Like, I bought it at 0.019 million and I sold it at a 50% gain at 0.023 million, and I lost $1 million.
Well, I'm thinking, so here's what I'm thinking. Just say with me. I'm thinking, it gets to like in this cycle, I don't know, probably low end people are, this is people smarter than me, obviously. Low end, 6 figures, high end. Obviously, we've had predictions anywhere from $250,000 to, I think 388,000 was the highest I've seen. So we go to $250,000. Maybe I sell 1 or 2 of my Bitcoin. And then, like last time, there was an 80% decline or 75% decline in the price from peak of December 2017, January 2018. And then it went down. Do I wait? And then I buy like 5x of the Bitcoin.
So Ben, in the first decade, Bitcoin was dominated by a bunch of traders with leverage and offshore exchanges, and they were speculators. That was one group of people. Yes. This year, after March, you've got insurance companies, corporations, treasuries, institutional investors. They're buying this stuff instead of gold. They're buying it to hold it for a decade as an inflation hedge. They're not using leverage. They're not using offshore exchanges. They're not speculators. Their mindset is, I'm going to hold it for 10 years. What can I buy that's better? If I sell it, I'm going to generate a tax bill and I'm going to buy something inferior. So they're not going to sell it. And that means you're not going to see, I think, that kind of volatility. Let me give you one more metaphor, Ben.
Yes. I love metaphors.
LeBron James started playing basketball at age 9.
Yes.
And by age 18, all the scouts knew this is the best high school basketball player in the world. And he's probably one of the best professional basketball players in the world. At age 13, he probably punched somebody on the court, and he might have missed a game at 15 because he smoked some weed. And he's a little bit volatile here and there because he's at age 11. Maybe he got pissed off at someone. And you're like, oh, LeBron James is volatile. When's he going to blow up again? From age 19 to age 29, LeBron James crushed everybody and everything in his way. And you probably should have signed him. Because just because someone's first 10 years, they were promising and volatile, doesn't mean that the next 10 years of the athlete is going to be an exact repeat. It isn't. And when I tell you, I just bought 1.1 billion of it and I intend to hold it forever.
Yes.
Right?
Forever.
Did anybody in 2017 tell you that when you were buying Bitcoin? Ben, let me just say one more thing.
Okay.
The people that I know, the wealthiest families in the world, they're like these New York City families where you ask them, where'd your money come from? And they're like, oh, my great-grandfather, he bought like 4 city blocks in Manhattan. And they're like, did you ever sell that? It's like, no, we still own it. They own it for 100 years.
Yes.
And as people print more dollars, the value of the property goes up at the rate that the Federal Reserve prints dollars. And then every 5 years, they refinance it and they borrow more money against it. So if you borrow against an asset that's appreciating in value, you don't pay capital gains tax. So if you have the world's perfect, if you own a city block in cyberspace that's good for the next 100 years, that's Bitcoin, right? A Bitcoin is a city block in cyberspace. If you own that, and if I told you 1 billion people are coming to that city and they're all going to need to buy their own block, and you own the right property, it's the Manhattan of cyberspace. Why don't you just keep it in the family for 100 years? And the next time you feel you need some money, well, you go borrow money against your Bitcoin. Really wealthy families, they just keep the assets forever and they just finance them. That's what they do.